Hey everybody, welcome back to Strange Horticulture. Let's go ahead and jump right in and find out where this card is sending me. I keep calling it a tarot card, but it's just a deck of cards. Not necessarily tarot anything about it. North of Hawkshead, which is down here. Okay, Hawkshead is here, so it's somewhere north of Hawkshead. East of Lowick, which is here, so it's in this part of the map. West of Rustland, well, Rustland is here, so east of Lowick and west of Rustland is just basically in column 17 then. So column 17 north of Hawkshead, south of Crinkle Crags. Crinkle Crags is here, so south of that leaves us only this as the possible location. My eyes are drawn to the silhouette of a grizzled old man standing at the edge of a field. His mind is broken, seemingly beyond repair. Vacant eyes fixate on nothing. A whisper of an expression as my gaze sweeps his face, but only a whisper. He raises his arm, points. I follow his outstretched finger and am surprised to find a cluster of wildflowers growing there, hidden from view. 2 new plants acquired. And let's move this plant over here, Butterdale. Alright, who's coming to the shop on day 3? Wilbur Miller. I'm looking for a plant. Lady of what's it? Something or other? I'm no green-eyed Dreyer, that's for sure. My mind isn't what it used to be. It's the one that's supposed to help with mental decline. Alright, so this is as far as I got when I was playing last time. So I do not know what the Lady of Summer is, but let's see. The leaves curl round delightfully, which, combined with an attractive flower and a hardy nature, make this a sought-after ornamental plant. Aids with conditions of memory deterioration associated with old age. So, has round leaves, or excuse me, curly leaves. It has this kind of drooping flower structure and 2 little bits sticking out. So here we have curly leaves, a droopy flower with 2 bits sticking out, a single sweet-smelling dark flower. Well, let's just look. I think that's got to be it. There's nothing else that has that shape. So here's your Lady of Summer, sir. And we get a note about Fennett, which we achieved, or which we got earlier, because a man said he had brought some Fennett to share with us, or to trade with us. And here's the mailman. Hello, mailman. They're saying the art has been killed. Yep, it's true. I know a lot of people don't trust that sisterhood, but it seemed to me the Arda always looked out for the less fortunate. Alright, thanks for bringing the mail. The cold is too much to bear beyond the gap. I was forced to turn back. I would advise against it, but if you are determined to explore Great Gable, be sure to take precautions. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll have a plant up your sleeve that can keep you warm should the weather turn against you. Warmest regards, Amos Duncan. So, excuse me, I don't need to open this yet. Great Gable. Now, I have no idea where Great Gable is. I've just found it. After several hours of arduous hiking and scrambling, I am still some distance from the summit. I am freezing cold and ready to head home. I should do the sensible thing and turn back down the mountain, unless I have some brim luck. Those suffering from hypothermia can be rescued by a draft made using leaves from the brimlock plant. It has a warming effect that protects against extreme cold. When conditions are just right in the cold of winter, brimlock produces small yellow flowers. The leaves are waxy and tough. So I might not have this. It may not be something that I have acquired yet. But we have kind of these broad leaves that are waxy and tough. This might be brimlock. It says that it has flowers at the right time, but this may not be the right time. Let's try it. Does this work for us, or is this poisonous? Alright, that's our brimlock. And we get a book entry on Sunset Mount Cap. Excuse me, Mount Cap. I push on, no longer feeling the cold, and I am presently rewarded with a new plant. Right? Let's move the Lady of Summer over here because we've identified her. Let's move the Brimlock over here because we've identified you. Alright. Who's next? Norman Lee. This plant is cursed. It has brought me nothing but sorrow. Please, take it. I want nothing more to do with it. Okay, you're just gonna give me a plant. Some weird kind of mushroom. Okay, thank you, sir. A mushroom-like plant with red warts growing on it. Okay. Hello, Simone. Oh, you're our library friend. Hellbore! Always a pleasure, my feline friend. I hope he hasn't been nibbling the plants again. I have a favor to ask. You owe me for the hours I spent digging out the information on those plants. I've been burning the midnight oil again, and I could use some common trouse, and I know where to find it. Okay, good, because I don't know what common trouse is. According to Grayson's herbology, it grows in abundance on red pike. I'll come by the afternoon, or come by the day after tomorrow and collect it. I have business in Sedberg in the meantime. Here, take this. Common trouse. You said it was on red pike. Grows in abundance on the slopes of red pike. Nobody knows why. Alright, well, I have the will to explore, so I can go to red pike if I know where it's at. There it is right there. I enjoy a pleasant stroll up to the fell. The going is easy, the weather agreeable, and the views majestic. I do not have to look hard to find what I am after. Is that the right plant, though, is the question. Is this... no flower, sparse leaves. The common trouse. Despite being described as common, the trouse can in fact be quite tricky to find. However, it is known to grow in abundance on the red pike. Its leaves have been used for centuries as a balm against eye strain. Well, yeah, I guess that's the same thing. Thought the game might trick me and give me a different plant, and maybe I'd have to go to the peak again to look. Hello, Miss Verona Green. When you work with the occult, I find it pays to uphold a certain image. If you're going to be accused of performing witchcraft anyway, it doesn't hurt to put on a bit of a show every now and then. Let the punters know that I'm capable of know what I'm capable of, sort of thing, okay? Long story short, I may have threatened to turn a small boy into a toad, and the little bugger called my bluff. Oh, don't look at me like that. You know what little boys are like. I can assure you he deserves to be turned into a toad. Anyway, I think a little display is needed to discourage this sort of behavior in the future. Have you got any shimmerlung? Well, I'm glad you know exactly what you're looking for. One shimmerlung. The dried stem of the shimmerlung burns very brightly and noisily, letting off a near blinding white-purple light. Flowers grow wrapped in large, rigid leaves. So I need something where these flowers are in a large, rigid leaves. These look like large, rigid leaves. And those look like, the picture. Has pleasing scent. The leaves have stiff ribs. Doesn't say anything about the scent here, but I think this is your Shimmerlung lady. And we get a book entry on Candlewood. Alright, Shimmerlung, you can come over here with our other plants that we know what they are. Hello, Ruth. There's a beautiful plant that I've been looking for all over, but nobody seems to have any. M something. Monk brew? I'm not sure. I do know that you shouldn't touch the leaves, though. Oh, that's our, so now it's telling me we don't know what it is. It's the Meekdew that we saw before. Meekdew. It's a decorative plant, it's very beautiful, you shouldn't touch the leaves, though. So, has this kind of dogwood kind of shaped Nope, that's got 4 petals, this has 5. Do I have that? Am I overlooking it? There's also a watering can. You can water things. Don't know why. It does say something about it moves your will, gives you some will to explore. But I haven't needed to do that so far. Do I have it? Is this it? Even though it doesn't look right. Dark blue flower smells like sweet rhubarb. The beautiful flower is made up of many smaller florets. Okay, so it's a bunch. So I'm wrong. I'm looking for the wrong thing. I'm looking for something like this. Yes. The flowers are a bunch of smaller florets. They have 4 petals with a thing in the middle. Small, delicate leaves. Here you go, ma'am. I think this is your Meekdew. And that's it. Alright, we'll put the Meekdew aside. And, well, I'll go ahead and show you, like, you can explore places, but there's been no reason for me to explore that I know of. So let's say we want to go to, Sadgill over here. I can use my will to explore to go there, but I don't think it'll give me anything because I don't have a reason to go there. Yeah, as I approach the small hamlet of Sadgill, the clouds thicken and the skies darken, echoing a sudden pensiveness that washes over me. A crow lands on the wall ahead, its beady black eyes fixed on me as if to warn me of impending danger. I push on in search of strange plants, but find nothing. Should have listened to the crow. Alright, well, that's the end of this day. We will get the next card. Oh, it's ripped. Time passed, a year, and then another. The book remains hidden, but out of sight. But out of sight did not mean out of mind. The book was what her thoughts settled on when she rested, what she brooded over when she did her chores, what she pictured when she dreamed. So, this episode has been, or that day was over pretty quickly. So I'm going to try to do another day here. So this doesn't tell me anything. This X marks the spot. Like, that tells me absolutely nothing. But we'll keep that for now, I guess. Oh, hello, Hellbore. Hello, Mr. Ward. The Fox button was no help, I'm afraid. The Sisterhood still refused to speak openly with me. Oh, they did talk to me, though. Not that I have the time to pursue it properly. I'm rushed off my feet this week. There's been a body found up at the Swinside Stone Circle. And apparently it's a grisly one. Don't suppose you've got anything to help me keep my lunch down. My stomach's never coped too well with the grizzly ones. So you want fennec. Chewing the tough roots of this plant is said to ease gastric distress and reduce anxiety. It has long, soft leaves. The leaves are quite soft. I don't know if that's quite right, though. Those are long, soft leaves, but they seem to come out at the base of the plant. This doesn't seem to be at the base of the plant. It might be it. We'll keep that aside. Red fruits, long, flat leaves. Again, could also be it. That could also be a lot of things with long leaves. I wish I had paid attention when the man gave them to me. You know, we're going to go with the first thing because it said they were soft. Long, soft leaves, and this one specifically said they were soft. So, hopefully that's the fennec. And hopefully I'm not about to poison you, sir. We got a book entry on witch figs. So, the shelf is missing right here. That's why I can't put things up top on that row. Hello, mailman. Morning. Verona Green handed me this for you. She seemed in a good mood. Well, I mean, she could just come over and deliver it herself, can't she? I meant to tell you this yesterday, but it slipped my mind. I discovered a plant on a recent trip to Grisdale Forest, just north of Russland. It was nothing like I've ever seen before. I should have brought it back with me if the sisterhood had given me a moment alone, but they seem overly protective lately. Kind regards, Verona Green. Okay. To Grisdale Forest, just northeast of Russland. Well, there's the forest. There's Russland. Just to the northeast of Russland would be right here. From the moment I step off the road, I can't shake the feeling I'm being watched. Suddenly, I find my way blocked by 3 women wearing green cloaks and holding short elm bows. Nobody may wander freely throughout the forest, by order of the Arda, says the leader of the trio. I turn to walk back, but then again, I have a few tricks up my sleeve. The mellow glow. So if I have mellow glow... and I'm just carrying it around with me. Like, I'm assuming I don't run back to the shop, pick up the plants, and then run back to the forest. Mellow glow, it has thorns. Among other uses for this plant, the most remarkable is that it can allow a person to pass unnoticed. Though not invisible, it is possible to become hidden from sight and memory. The mellow glow has sharp thorns that protect it from predators. This one has sharp thorns. Oh, I was not correct. That wasn't mellow glow. Okay. So my rising dread meter did go up. Is it this one? Sharp thorns. Okay, so this one, even though it looks like it has thorns, it doesn't specifically say they were sharp thorns. This one does. Alright, is this the mellow glow? With the help of the mellow glow, I walk right past the sisters without them paying me any heed. Chuckling to myself, I collect the plant that Verona talked about and take my leave. So we got a article about Caballia and a new plant with these little droopy seeds or whatever. Droopy fruits. Let's move the mellow glow over here with the rest of the plants I've identified. And this can go in the archives. Okay, next person. Hello, Miss Swift. I am afraid. The camphor you gave me is helping me sleep, and I'm very grateful for it, but the visions are as strong as ever. The woman in the jade mask appears in my dreams every night. She screams at me, but I do not know why, and behind her, that presence is always there, dark and dreadful. I don't know what to do. The dreams feel like a warning that I don't understand, a mosaic of color that refuses to come into focus. Some part of me wants to stare down that abyss, but I'm afraid. Alright, so we can give her Auguria or Candlewood. Auguria, when burned, incense made from the woody stem can enhance psychic abilities, strengthening the clarity of visions and prophecies. Or Candlewood produces a red flower that provides a shielding effect, protecting against all manners of afflictions of the mind. So, do we allow her to come into better focus with the thing in her dreams? Feels like a warning that you do not understand. So do we let her experience the warning, or do we block out the bad dreams? She screams at me, but I do not know why, and behind her, that presence is always there, dark and dreadful. That seems pretty, like, mean. That does not sound like something you want to enhance. So in this case, I'm going to try to give her the Candlewood. It has a red flower. If I have the Candlewood, it's a very strange. I mean, I don't think that's it. I don't know if that's it either. Could that be it? Red fruits, long flat leaves. Red fruits are not flowers. Long thin stems grow among tall leaves. These are long thin stems. Bright red flowers grow at the ends of thin stems. So that might be our Candlewood, and this might just be like a cross section or a close-up. So I think this is your Candlewood, lady. I hope this protects you. And I hope I did it right, because the Rising Dread meter, not looking great. Alright, I gave her the Candlewood. And learned about worry less. I do want to take a moment to look at this clue thing, though, because I have a... You know, I can look at it with a magnifying glass, doesn't tell me anything. I also have this thing, which I don't know what the heck this is. Yeah, that did not give me any hints. Alright, next person. Margaret Elsbeth. We don't come to Undermere often, but I heard about your shop, and I said to Francis we simply must pay a visit. Well, thank you for coming. It's a wonderful breath of life in an otherwise dreary town. Well, thank you very much. That's very flattering. I'm the green-fingered one, and it's not really his cup of tea, but I persuaded him the trip would do him good, and besides, he'll be wanting to take a boat out on the lake. Shame about this awful weather, though. You must come to Scissor. We have a small library with some books on plants that my grandfather acquired many years ago. I'm sure they will be of interest to a horticulturist such as yourself. Well, thank you, ma'am. You could have bought something, but thank you. You are cordially invited to Sisburg Castle, Lord and Lady Elsbeth. Well, you know what? I'll go to your castle. Sisburg. I am greeted enthusiastically by Lady Elsbeth herself. She is very talkative and has many questions on horticulture that I do my best to answer, as she takes me on a tour of the gardens. Oh, you must take a sample of this back with you, she exclaims, pointing out a plant that I do not recognize. But before I can stop to take a look, she has already whisked me on to the next one. And this one too, she says. I'm quite exhausted by the time we make it to the library, and I don't have the time to make as thorough a study as I would like. Nevertheless, I am able to find an interesting entry that I write down. Don't forget these, Lady Elspeth cries as I make to leave. She thrusts the plants from the garden into my hands, and I thank her warmly. Alright, 2 plants and a book entry. 2 plants and a entry about Fever Kiss. Alright. Hello, Francis Aberton. I'm looking for a plant with yellow flowers and coarse leaves. It helps with my heartburn. Okay, so we don't know exactly what plant he wants. Yellow flowers and coarse leaves helps with heartburn. Caballia brings good fortune. Believed to help the dead find peace. That's not heartburn. Common Trouse, we know that's not for you. That's a mushroom. It doesn't have leaves. An energy boost? No. That's a poison. Gray Sandfire can cause unpleasant stomach distress. Choose for dental hygiene? No. Historian should not be ingested under any circumstances. That's a mushroom. That doesn't have yellow flowers. Winter boar. Insect repellent. Witch fig. Eases symptoms of infection. Worryless. Inhaling the smell of this flower. So, I'm sorry, sir. I have no idea what you want. I don't have anything about that. Yellow flowers and coarse leaves. Did I overlook? I could use the hint system. It could be a plant I've already... I was overlooking the plants that I already know. So let's look back through them again. Skin rashes, that's for warming you. That's afflictions of the mind. That's the unlocking things. Friendship. Sleeping. Digestive troubles. That could be your heartburn, sir. Gandy root. Yellow flower. Coarse leaves. That's the Gandy root. Okay, so sometimes we need to give them things we already have identified. He goes, sir, I believe this is good for your digestive troubles. I mean, yes, the plant is identified. We've already identified it. Thank you. Alright, this episode is a little long. Maybe I should not have have extended this out into 2 days worth. They're saying Black Comb is haunted now. Bradley Miller told me he saw the ghost of a huge deer, antlers and all. But then Bradley Miller also says he can talk to squirrels. Either way, there's something evil in them hills, and I'm not taking any chances. Awful what happened to that poor young man up in Swinside. I've come for some stinking mount cap. Okay, so that's 2 things I have not done. I have not gone to Swinside, where apparently there was the murder. And I did not go to Black Comb. I've not been to Black Comb yet to see about any ghost deers. You want a sunset mount cap. Sunset mount cap is a type of fungus with domed caps, sometimes called stinking mount cap as a result of its unpleasant odor. It is thought to deter unwanted souls and spirits from entering the home and is often placed in doorways. It is mildly toxic to humans and should not be eaten. Okay, you want a stinky mushroom. It smells strongly of soured milk, bad enough to make my eyes water. Yeah, that sounds like a stinky mushroom. Here you go, lady. Got a book entry on Kenchuck. It's the end of the day, but I do have the will to explore. So there was what? The circle, the stone circle that I can't remember what it was, and she also said something else that I don't recall. Another town, something, or no, Blackcomb. So Blackcomb is down here. That's where apparently there's a ghost of a deer. But there was also maybe a dead person. I'm cognizant of this episode is long, so I don't want to stare at the map for too long. There's a stone circle, it's called the Daughters, but that's not the same stone circle as I think we... Swinside. Okay, Swinside stone circle. What if we go to that? Can we see the dead man? I shudder at the thought of what happened here. If these stones could tell us what they saw, a chill comes over me and I realize that I do not want to linger. Okay, so the rising dread went up. I should not have went there. Okay, let's end the day. At 15, her mother, strong, dependable, loving, was struck down by typhoid. The girl drew inward as her father turned to drink. Day 5, Tuesday. Okay, my rising dread went down. Good, okay. So, let's go ahead and end the episode here. So, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again next time.